Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Ashley, and if you're wondering, today we are going to be talking about how I annotate my books. I am so happy that you decided to watch this video. Wow, am I excited for what I'm going to be talking about today. Nothing excites me more than what I'm about to talk about. Genuinely, nothing. Nothing. Yes, you heard right. I am going to be talking about how I personally annotate my books. Now, do I annotate every single book? Absolutely not. I would never finish a book. I would be so bored. No, I only annotate a very specific genre, and if you guessed it, you guessed correctly, it is fantasy. There's genuinely no reason for me to annotate romance because... Now, a lot of you might have this question for me. Ashley, why in the world do you annotate? Let me tell you. Annotating is very personal to the experience that you have with the book. I kind of think of it like parallel to a diary. I don't know if you guys have ever kept like a journal or a diary or some sort, and you're literally experiencing this book for the first time. I put little notes on the pages, like I actually write in my books. We'll do this one. Okay. This is Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness, but literally notes, notes. Yes, it is just so fun for me, and I kind of think of it as a journal, but I mean, reading books is such it can be a very, very personal experience if you relate heavily to the book. Another question that you guys might have is, Ashley, is there a method to your madness? Yes, there is, and I'm gonna show you what that is exactly. This is my cute little bicycle cup. And I put all of my little things that I use for annotating in it, except my large Post-its. I don't know where those are. Found them. Okay, so this is what I use to annotate. It's what I use. Everything in this cup is what is used. Sometimes it's kind of hard to explain how I annotate, so I'm gonna best explain to you by actually showing you and walking you through my madness. So first things first, I'm gonna get some examples out, and some books that I'm super proud of how I annotated them are actually right here. So the first two books in the Bone season, which I'm currently reading right now, I have The Mask Falling, but I ordered The Song Rising and it's on its way. It's not here yet. All right, so I have the Bone season and I have the Mime Order, and I have annotated these pretty, I'm pretty proud of them. So the first thing that I'll do, and you can see that with the Bone season, is I will take these Post-its and I will put my key on the Post-it of each book. And I say that because a lot of the time, yes, I do have the same key that I use for so what things go with what specific colors of the tabs. Sometimes it does change per book. Some fantasy books don't have any romance at all, and that's fine. Totally fine. So sometimes if that's the case, I will change up my key, but usually I stay pretty close to my original key. I usually don't change it because I usually just do fantasy. So the first thing that I do is, yes, I take this Post-it and I write my key, and it looks a lot like this. So I put the key here. That way, while I'm tabbing the book, if I forget what a color means or what it means to me, I could just go back to the front page and look at my key, and yeah, that's how I do that. Sometimes in the beginning I just did not feel comfortable with writing in my actual book unless it was in pencil, so sometimes in books that I've read a while back, before I got comfortable with actually writing in my books with pen, I wrote on Post-its and just put them in to where I would have made a note. But I really don't care nowadays. See, if I'm tabbing a book, I will never unhaul it. That is I don't tab every single book. If I tab it, I'll probably never get rid of that book. So next thing that I usually use are these tabs. These have been such a game changer for me. I get them on Amazon and they are so great. Okay, so when you order them, they come in bulk. So you have about 6 of these, and these, like a single strip in itself has so many tabs in it. And you get 3 that are pointed like this, which are my favorite, so they usually run out the quickest, and then you get your just regular rectangle ones, and I don't really care to use these. I don't really care, but I will use these first, no doubt. So I'll put these up so I can show you the actual like key. So I used Bone Season last time, so I'll use my mortar this time, and I'll show you the key, which I put the key right here on this page, and it is the same key as I will always, if it's a series, I will keep the keys the exact same. I would never change that up. I don't know who would do that to themselves. So we'll go through and talk about which tabs mean what. So the first one is the pink tab, and the pink tab usually means like any kind of relationship or just something that I love about relationships, whether it's a friendship or romance. I tend to put the 2 together because I don't have enough tabs to tab them individually. Orange is always world building. If you don't have a world building tab, if you tab fantasy, I genuinely don't know how you are organizing your thoughts. I don't know how. Yellow, I know that in my key all I have is gasp, which is hilarious, but yellow means shocking moments, moments that really just kind of pulled the rug out from under me, didn't see coming. Green is anything that is like quote worthy, just a really good quote, something that I'm gonna remember. Blue is really sad, heartbreaking moments. I'm probably going to cry. Then you have dark purple, which is usually plot building. So anything that I think is, you know, building towards the plot of the story, I will tab it with purple. And with the dark purple is where I usually write like my theories about what's gonna happen, what I think's gonna happen, just things like that. This light purple that I have here is usually character building. So anything that attributes to the main character, I will tab. That's usually how, and I usually do not change from that key unless, you know, there's like no romance, then I'll change something up. That does. That does stay pretty consistent throughout my entire reading. Another thing that I always have with me when I'm annotating a book is a highlighter and a pen. I don't go anywhere without these 2 things. I say that because if I like something that I want to remember, I'm gonna highlight it, and I'll usually tab it, but I want to highlight the specific line because sometimes when you tab, you just forget. And you want to go back, you just forget. And then a pen, if I want to write and take notes within the book, I just always have these with me. If I don't have these with me and I see something that I want to mark in the book, I know who I am as a human and I will never remember. So I just finished the mime order like 2 days ago, and I did do tabbing, and as you can see, there's just like, I don't know if you can see or spot like all that yellow, but this book was incredibly shocking. I was gasping throughout the whole thing. Usually in a series, you have that second book syndrome where everything is like perfect in the first book. It's perfect. Everything is beautifully written, beautifully done. Your characters are great. Character building's amazing. World building's amazing. And your second book just kind of like either plateaus or just not so great. This did not do that. This was not a letdown for me. I will say it was slow in the beginning, but you're introducing so many new characters that I really wouldn't have it any other way because those characters are super important to the storyline. So Samantha Shannon is slowly but surely becoming one of my all-time favorite authors. You know, just another thing, like I think when people see other people that annotate books, people tend to get like really intimidated by the whole process, like it's this huge monster. I promise you it is not, because you don't have to hold yourself to their same standards. I did not start off on that level, good God. No, I just started off highlighting a few lines in a book. I didn't even tab until maybe the beginning of this year. And it's just helped me in so many ways to actually remember what happens in books, because as I say multiple times, I read a lot of fantasy, okay? And fantasy is known to have more series than standalones. And I do love series, but they usually come out like once every year. So I read a book and then I have to wait an entire year for the next book to come out. So imagine how hard it would be for me to wait a whole year for that next book to come out and completely forget what happens in the first book. So I'd have to read the whole thing again. But because I tab, I can just go back to my specific tabs just to see and refresh myself on the actual book instead of going back and rereading the whole thing. Because listen, I love a good reread, but not that much. Don't be intimidated by it. Like, it is your own personal thing. It does like parallel for me when it comes to journaling, because I did journal a lot when I started journaling when I was like 12, I think, and I still do it. But so it's just like natural for me to kind of put the two together. I just journal my personal experience while reading the book, like how it made me feel. I'll write it in there. If something's relatable, like I'll write it in the book. Like, I don't care. I'm not getting rid of them. So I just would say, like, don't be intimidated when it comes to like annotating books. All right, well, I mean, I know that's a quick video, but you're welcome. I made it short, sweet, and to the point. I did say that I was gonna do this, and I love annotating books, so I just thought that, you know, I'd just do it. I put the link of the tabs that I use down in the description box if you are interested in getting those. They're just super simple, got them from Amazon. That's all that I have. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and click that notifications bell at the bottom. That way you get notified every time I post a video. I don't know how long I'm gonna be sticking to this, posting a video every Sunday, because Sunday is not really the vibe for me. So it might be a weekday, I don't know. Do I ever? I don't know. Yeah, that's